Alright, so new build on the table, another quad. We're doing a lot of the aerial stuff these days. This will be a little bit quicker than my other ones. We're going to crack it open, start with the build, so it won't be a 3-part series, it'll be a 2-part series. The build and then the maiden. And you'll see why in a few seconds here. So I'll get this out of the package. The Terret 250A. All our parts here, motors, get that to focus. And there's the ESC, 12 amp ESC. Alright, make note on that board there, we got that yellow X connector. That's going to be gone shortly. You're going to be removing that. So this series, reasoning why we're going to be going a little bit quicker. Everything gets soldered to the frame, so it's almost pointless to build it and take it apart and reassemble after everything's soldered. The other builds were quite easy to work on once the chassis was built. This one here, it's a pretty compact design. So once we're in there, I don't want to take it back apart. So what we're going to try to do here is replicate that onto the board. So I'm going to cut the leads very close on the ESCs and solder direct, and as well as the flight controller, which is going to be the CC3D. I'm going to cut those leads and solder directly to the top there. So let's dig out the flight controller. So we need this. 4 of these. I'm gonna go solder that. I'll be back, because you guys have all seen me solder. It's almost pointless to do that now. And we'll show you what it looks like. Alright, so we're all done. Very clean, if I might say so myself. Let's get it to focus there, come on. There you go, it's the light. I gotta work with that here. There we go. So, nice and tight. No extra gaps or spaces for nothing. Same on that side. And here, the flight controller, I went direct here. Nice and clean, nothing's touching. And for the other two, oh, there's that Deans I was mentioning earlier. Get a closer look. So I remove that XT connector and put the Deans on. And here the 2 bottom ESCs, as well as the output for the camera, or your FPV setup, should I say. So now that's done, we're going to start with the build. And probably the part that, might be almost stupid to say, but the landing gear is what I love about this guy. Sets it apart a little bit different than most. Alright, you get that there. Get the rest of our hardware. So here we're going to be using 2 of the aluminum plates to sandwich everything together. First we get that carbon fiber plate in the middle here, up and over the landing gear. Line up our arms. And here's this aluminum bit I was talking about here. So I get that out of the packaging. You have to get the screws out of it. And as always, anything that's going into aluminum or metal to metal, a little bit of thread lock, not much on this stuff because you might have to take it apart, but put some on there. Alright, so I'm going to thread the screw through here. Once we're lined up there, it'll be easy. Alright, so got it through. We push the arm up and over. Get the aluminum brace across and just snug that down. Alright. So we're going to do the same for the rear. Screw's already in. We're just going to put the plate in. Or sorry, I mixed that up. That's the front. The other part was the rear. And here we have another front brace. I'm going to be throwing in between the 2 plates. This is also going to act as a mount where the CCD camera is going to go. So route your cabling as you want. I'm going to probably come back in and clean that up after, but I want to make sure that everything's routed to the top for now. So, we got 3 screws. It's going to hold that together here. Alright, so I'm going to line up some motors and get you guys a mock-up of that. So just mind where the wiring is coming out. If you're going forward, you want the wiring being on the back end of those arms. So if you do hit anything forward, you're not going to be chopping out any leads. front ones anyways. The rear ones doesn't really matter. I don't think anything's going to get to those. And we're going to mock up the camera. Or the mount, the plate, should I say. And we'll get everything tied up, finish up with the other side and the motors, and be back. Alright, so everything's done. Everything's zip tied, nice and clean. Motors are on. Now finally the flight controller, and there is our transmitter. So that is an AR6110E decased. A lot of people have asked last time. I've been using these quite a bit. And that, the model or the wiring diagram, I got from the Open Flight Controller software. Once you choose your quad configuration, it'll give you an option for a wiring map so you can see what goes to what channel, and then according to your transmitter, you're going to be plugging it in that way. Alright, so double-sided tape, get that into place. Very secure. It's not going to be going anywhere. Get the receiver underneath there. Like I said, this was the obvious choice for the routing of the wires this time, but I see it now. I'm probably going to take it apart and run it underneath and pop out through one of the little holes on the frame itself. Alright, push that into place. Try to line ourselves up there. There we go. Alright. And here I think we'll be able to get away with one zip tie. Get all these wires nice and taut. I don't want to be putting pressure on them, but you don't want them flapping in the wind either. Alright, so get the junk off the table. I'm going to tighten that all up, and we'll be back with the finished product. Alright, so as I said, we are ready to go. We can fire a battery in there and fly now. So there's a look of the front. All the wires nice and clean. We got them carbon fiber props that came into the kit. If anything, I'd probably change the color of the box for flight controller. Yellow kind of stands out. But this, again, is still a 250 size quad like all my other FPV platforms, but it's a much thinner, sleeker build. No wiring, no breakout boards, no nothing. Everything is directly to the frame itself. So I really like that. And that being said, we'll be at it soon, guys. Thanks for watching. Please thumbs up and subscribe.